SALUS's Actions feature is a powerful way to assign tasks and corrective actions and follow up to ensure they're being completed and the loop is being closed. Create and assign action items both inside and outside of a form on either mobile or desktop and assign them to another worker. Let's see how the Actions feature integrates with your SALUS workflows with SALUS step by step. From the company admin's perspective, the first thing you need to do to get the Actions feature set up is to create your action types. To do this, navigate to the main menu, click on Actions, and then navigate to the Types tab. You'll see some default types set up already, which you can toggle to deactivate or activate. The types enable you to track the types of actions that your workers select for reporting purposes. To create a new type, click Add Type. Create a name for the type and toggle it to activate it if you want it to be available to your workers to tag their actions. Clicking Add Type then adds it to the list. As your workers add and assign actions through SALUS Mobile, as the company admin, you can keep track of them as they come in. The Submitted tab shows the submitted actions created from your own workers, and the Subcontractor tab shows the actions for the subcontractors. Overdue actions are highlighted in red, which indicate urgency as these actions are past their due date and still haven't been addressed yet. You can sort the table as usual too, by clicking on the header bars, for example, sorting by due date. You can also use the filters to find specific actions too. For example, you might want to review the actions where a status shows that an action is still required for a particular site. This identifies specifics you can follow up on with your foreman or supervisor. For each submitted action, as the company admin, you can click into it or open it to view in the browser, share the action to the other workers, or edit the action. For example, changing any of these details as necessary and sending on the action. You can also create a new action item using this button here. As the company admin, you have full control over the actions in the system to amend them, share them, complete them as necessary, and run reports, a common one being to see which actions are still outstanding. From the worker perspective, while they're working on site, they can submit and assign actions in two different ways using SALUS Mobile. The first way to create an action is from within the form itself, which links the action to the form. The second is to create an action through a notification. Let's examine the workflows for both. When a worker is on site and filling in required forms using SALUS Mobile, it's common to come across issues. For example, if you're filling out a hazard assessment, you may notice that actions are required as you're assessing the area. Rather than leaving these actions in the form to go unnoticed, you can create an action right from within the form that can be assigned to a worker immediately so they're accountable to address the action. Assigning actions in this way and connecting them to a corresponding field means the action will be documented within the form itself, including real-time status updates. This means your regular workflow of filling out the form won't be disrupted, and you can address each action as it arises in the form. Creating an action is easy. When you're in the form, tap the gray flag icon next to the corresponding field. Identify the type of issue and enter the action's details, which include a description, the priority, due date, and workers assigned to it. Once the action is submitted, the action is linked to the form and can be seen in the form itself because the identifying flag is now red, which indicates an action. This can be seen and reviewed by anyone who has access. The worker who created the action will see it in their inbox so they can keep an eye on it. A notification will be sent to the worker assigned to the action. This appears in their inbox under Actions for them to complete. As the action gets addressed, the worker assigned can add comments, attach photos, and mark it as complete when it's been finished. Once complete, the updated status is reflected with a green flag and can be tracked by a company admin from their inbox or the Actions page on SALUS Desktop. So that was an example of how to create an action within a form. Similarly, actions can be created independently of forms as well. A common use case is if a worker is walking around site and they notice that something needs to be addressed. In SALUS Mobile, they can then navigate to the inbox, tap the blue button in the top right corner to create a new notification. You can then select the worksite and the recipients who will receive the notification and click Next. Add a description of the issue, identify the type of action required, and enter details of where it is. You can then add an action here to make sure it's addressed and tracked, which includes setting priority, due date, and assigning the action to an accountable worker before clicking submit, which then notifies recipients and assigns the action to the accountable worker. And that's how actions are used, which enables you to assign, track, and manage tasks on site as part of your everyday workflows. Actions are a powerful feature and an integral component of any successful safety program. Integrating actions directly into your forms and tying them directly to fields allows you to seamlessly assign actions while staying on track with your other compliance requirements. Allowing for actions to be created independently of forms streamlines how hazards and identified issues are addressed on the job site to make the environment safer for everyone.